Once upon a time, in a small village called Amudaland, there was a great king named Oba Adigun. His palace was the largest building in the entire village, and it was filled with many servants and guards. One of the servants was a young maid named Ifunanya. She was kind, hardworking, and beautiful, and everyone in the palace liked her. One day, while fetching water from the river near the palace, Ifunanya noticed something strange. A large, glittering snake lay coiled on a rock by the water. Its scales sparkled in the sunlight, and its eyes glowed like fire. At first, she was afraid and wanted to run, but the snake did not move. Instead, it seemed to be watching her closely. Slowly, she walked past it, her heart beating fast. That night, Ifunanya had a strange dream. In her dream, the glittering snake spoke to her. "Do not fear me," it said. "I am not here to harm you. I am your destiny." When Ifunanya woke up, she felt scared and confused. What did the snake mean? Was it just a dream, or was something else going on? She decided not to tell anyone about it. But the next morning, when she went to the river again, the snake was there, waiting. This time, it moved closer to her. Though her legs trembled, she stayed still, unable to run. The snake spoke again, and this time, she could hear the words clearly in her mind. Here is the beginning of the story titled, The King Maid and the Mysterious Snake. A long time ago, in a small village called Amudaland, there was a great king named Oba Adigun. His palace was the largest building in the entire village, and it was filled with many servants and guards. One of the servants was a young maid named Ifunanya. She was kind, hardworking, and beautiful, and everyone in the palace liked her. One day, while fetching water from the river near the palace, Ifunanya noticed something strange. A large, glittering snake lay coiled on a rock by the water. Its scales sparkled in the sunlight, and its eyes glowed like fire. At first, she was afraid and wanted to run, but the snake did not move. Instead, it seemed to be watching her closely. Slowly, she walked past it, her heart beating fast. That night, Ifunanya had a strange dream. In her dream, the glittering snake spoke to her. "Do not fear me," it said. "I am not here to harm you. I am your destiny." When Ifunanya woke up, she felt scared and confused. What did the snake mean? Was it just a dream, or was something else going on? She decided not to tell anyone about it. But the next morning, when she went to the river again, the snake was there, waiting. This time, it moved closer to her. Though her legs trembled, she stayed still, unable to run. The snake spoke again, and this time, she could hear the words clearly in her mind. "I am not an ordinary snake," it said. "I have been sent to you by the gods. If you let me into your heart, I will give you great gifts." Ifunanya was shocked. She did not understand what the snake meant, but its voice was gentle, almost comforting. She asked, "Why me? I am just a maid in the palace." "You are special," the snake replied. "Do not doubt yourself." Feeling unsure but strangely drawn to the snake, Ifunanya nodded. "What do I need to do?" The snake only smiled, and then it slithered back into the water, leaving her with more questions than answers. Days turned into weeks, and Ifunanya noticed something unusual happening to her. She began to feel different, as if she were carrying a heavy secret. The villagers and other maids in the palace began to whisper about her. Some said she was glowing, others said she looked sick. One day, her closest friend in the palace, Ada, asked her, "Ifunanya, are you alright? You've been acting strange." Ifunanya shook her head. "I'm fine, Ada. Just tired." But deep inside, Ifunanya knew something was changing. And she was afraid of what it could mean. Ifunanya soon realized she was no longer the same. Her body began to change in ways she didn't understand. She felt heavier, and her appetite grew. The palace cook often joked, "Ifunanya, are you eating for two?" But Ifunanya would laugh it off, pretending nothing was wrong. Deep inside, she felt a storm of emotions. Could it be true? Could she be carrying a child? And if so, how was that even possible? She had no husband or lover, only that strange encounter with the glittering snake. The thought made her shiver. The whispers in the palace grew louder. The other maids noticed her changes and began to gossip. "Did you see her? Her belly looks round," one whispered. "Maybe she has a secret lover," another said. Ifunanya kept silent, her heart heavy with fear and shame. Word of the rumors reached King Oba Adigun. The king was a just man but very strict. He called Ifunanya to his throne room one evening. His voice was deep and commanding as he asked, "Ifunanya, I hear troubling rumors about you. Speak the truth. What is happening?" Ifunanya knelt before the king, trembling. She could not tell him the truth about the snake. Who would believe her? She lowered her head and said, "My king, I do not know what is happening to me. I swear on my life, I have done no wrong." The king studied her closely. His piercing eyes seemed to see into her soul. After a long silence, he said, "I will give you time to find the truth. But know this, Ifunanya, if you bring shame to this palace, you will face severe punishment." Ifunanya nodded, tears streaming down her face. She left the throne room, feeling more alone than ever. Desperate for answers, Ifunanya decided to visit the village priest, a wise man named Baba Olu. She walked to his hut at the edge of the village, her steps slow and unsure. When she entered, the old man was sitting on a mat, staring into a pot of steaming herbs. "Baba Olu," she said, kneeling before him. "I need your help." The priest looked at her with kind but curious eyes. "Child, I have seen your coming in my visions. You carry a great burden, one that is not of this world." Ifunanya gasped. "You know. Please, tell me what is happening to me." Baba Olu closed his eyes and began to chant softly. After a while, he spoke. "You have been touched by a powerful spirit, one that has chosen you for a purpose. But be warned, Ifunanya, such a union is dangerous. It could bring great blessings or terrible destruction." "What should I do?" she asked, her voice shaking. "You must prepare yourself," Baba Olu said. "The truth will reveal itself soon, but you must stay strong. And whatever happens, do not let fear guide your actions." One morning, Ifunanya woke up feeling sharp pains in her stomach. She rushed to the palace garden, where she could be alone. As she sat on a stone bench, clutching her belly, she felt something move inside her. It wasn't like an ordinary baby's kick. It was stronger, faster, almost unnatural. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "What are you, little one? Are you truly my child?" Suddenly, she heard a hissing sound behind her. She turned and saw the glittering snake slithering toward her. This time, it looked bigger and more powerful than before. The snake stopped a few feet away and spoke in its strange, soft voice. "The time is near, Ifunanya," it said. "You must not be afraid. What you carry is a gift." "A gift," she cried. "Everyone thinks I am cursed." "They do not understand," the snake said. "But soon, they will. Protect the child, no matter what." The snake disappeared into the bushes, leaving Ifunanya trembling with fear and questions. What did the snake mean by "protect the child"? And what would happen when the truth came out? As Ifunanya's belly grew larger, the palace midwife, Mama Efua, noticed and became concerned. One day, she pulled Ifunanya aside in the kitchen. "Child, you need to tell me the truth. What is growing inside you?" Ifunanya hesitated. She wanted to tell someone, anyone, about the snake and its words, but she was afraid. Finally, she whispered, "Mama Efua, I I don't know. It's not normal. I can feel it. The old midwife's face grew pale. She placed her hand gently on Ifunanya's belly and closed her eyes. After a few moments, she pulled her hand back quickly as if she had touched fire. This is no ordinary child, Mama Efua said, her voice trembling. You are carrying something powerful, something not of this world. What should I do? Ifunanya asked, tears in her eyes. You must prepare for a difficult journey, my dear, Mama Efua replied. This will not end the way you think. By now, the palace was buzzing with rumors. The maids whispered behind Ifunanya's back, and the guards exchanged worried glances whenever she walked by. Some believed she was cursed. Others thought she had angered the gods. One day, a group of senior maids approached the head steward, Chief Ademo. We cannot keep her here, one of them said. Her condition is unnatural. It will bring bad luck to the king and the palace. Chief Ademo frowned. Do you think the king will throw her out without proof? Ifunanya has always been loyal. But look at her, another maid said. Her belly is too big, too fast. This is not a normal pregnancy. Reluctantly, Chief Ademo promised to speak with the king. The palace was becoming a dangerous place for Ifunanya. That evening, Chief Ademo knelt before King Oba Adigun. My king, there is unrest in the palace. The servants are uneasy about Ifunanya's condition. They say it is unnatural. The king's face darkened. I have given her time to explain. Has she spoken of her condition? No, my king, Chief Ademo said. But the people are afraid. They believe it is a curse. Oba Adigun sat in silence for a moment, then spoke. I will not act on rumors. Let the priest, Boba Olu, investigate. He will tell us if this is truly a curse. Chief Ademo bowed and left the throne room. The king's words calmed the palace, for now. The next day, Boba Olu was summoned to the palace. He brought with him a sacred staff and a bowl of herbs. The servants gathered in the courtyard as the priest prepared to perform a ritual to uncover the truth. Ifunanya, Boba Olu said, come forward. Trembling, Ifunanya stepped into the center of the courtyard. The priest chanted in an ancient language, waving the sacred staff over her head. The air grew thick, and a strange silence fell over the crowd. Suddenly, the bowl of herbs burst into flames, and Boba Olu gasped. The child she carries is not human, he declared. It is the child of a spirit. The crowd erupted in chaos. Some screamed and ran, while others fell to their knees, praying for protection. Ifunanya stood frozen, tears streaming down her face. King Oba Adigun stormed into the courtyard, his face stern. Silence, he roared, and the crowd fell quiet. He turned to Boba Olu. What does this mean, priest? Is the palace in danger? Boba Olu bowed. My king, the child is not a curse, but it is powerful. Ifunanya has been chosen by a spirit. You must decide whether to protect her or send her away. The king looked at Ifunanya, who knelt before him, sobbing. After a long pause, he said, she will remain in the palace. We will not act out of fear. The crowd murmured, but no one dared to disobey the king. Ifunanya felt a small flicker of hope, though she knew the danger was far from over.